I didn't believe in witchcraft until I caught my babysitter standing over my bed at 3 in the morning, whispering my daughter's name. What scares me most is that she never noticed I was awake. And when the police searched her apartment later, they found photos of my house taped to the walls. Photos taken from inside. This happened 2 years ago, not long after my daughter Lily was born. Being a single dad was exhausting. I was barely sleeping, barely functioning. Between work and taking care of a newborn, I was desperate for help. That's when I hired Nadia. She was recommended through a local babysitting group online. Early 20s, quiet, soft-spoken. She seemed perfect with kids. Lily liked her immediately. And honestly, that should have been my first warning. Because Lee hated strangers. But the first day Nadia came over, my daughter just stared at her silently, smiling, like she already knew her. At first, everything was normal. Nadia cooked, cleaned, read to Lily.
Sometimes I'd come home and find them sitting together on the floor while Nadia hummed these strange little songs I'd never heard before. Not nursery rhymes. Something older. Something that sounded wrong. One evening I asked her where she learned them. She smiled and said, "My grandmother used to sing them during rituals." I laughed awkwardly, thinking she was joking. She didn't laugh back. That night, after she left, I noticed something strange in Lily's room. A symbol drawn above the crib. Very faint, like it had been written with chalk. A circle with lines crossing through it. I scrubbed it off immediately. The next day, I asked Nadia about it. She tilted her head and said, "Oh, that's for protection." Protection from what? She just smiled again. I should have fired her right there. But I didn't. Because nothing bad had actually happened. At least, not yet.
A week later, things started getting worse. Lily began waking up every night around exactly 3:13 a.m. Every single night, crying hysterically. Not normal crying, terrified crying, like she was seeing someone in the room. One night, I rushed into her bedroom after hearing her scream, and I froze. Her mobile, the little hanging stars above the crib, was spinning. Fast, way too fast. The windows were closed. No fan, no air, just spinning violently in the dark. Then it stopped. Instantly, like someone grabbed it. I remember slowly turning around, half expecting someone to be standing behind me. But the room was empty. The next morning, I told Nadia I thought Lily was having nightmares. Nadia looked at me strangely and asked, "Did she tell you what she sees?" That question hit me hard, because Lily was barely 1 year old. She couldn't even talk properly yet. I asked Nadia what she meant. She shrugged and said, "Children see things adults can't." After that, I started noticing more things around the house. Small symbols written in corners, under tables, inside cabinets. Words scratched lightly into the paint near Lily's room. I looked one of them up online. It was some kind of protection sigil,
or summoning symbol. Different websites said different things. That night, I decided to stay awake after Nadia left, just to clear my mind. Around 2:40 a.m., I finally fell asleep on the couch. Then I woke up to breathing. Not mine, someone else's, right next to me. I opened my eyes slightly, and Nadia was standing over me, just staring down at my face. My heart almost stopped. The room was dark except for moonlight coming through the window. She looked completely emotionless, like a statue. I pretended to still be asleep because I didn't know what else to do. Then she whispered, "She chose him wrong." I felt cold all over. Then she slowly turned her head toward Lily's room and smiled. I sat up immediately, but the hallway was empty. Nadia was gone. The front door was still locked from the inside. I searched the entire house. Nothing. No sign she'd ever been there. The next morning, I found dirt on the floor beneath Lily's crib. Dark, black dirt, mixed with what looked like dried flower petals. And written on the wall beside her crib, in thick black marker, was one sentence. "She opens easily." That was it for me. I called the police. I told them everything. At first, they thought Nadia was just mentally unstable, until they searched her apartment. That's where they found dozens of photos of Lily. Photos I never took. Some were pictures of her sleeping, others were pictures of my house at night, and one photo still makes me sick to think about. It was me, sleeping on the couch, taken from only a few feet away. But the worst part? In the corner of the photo, standing in Lily's bedroom doorway, was Nadia, smiling, watching me sleep. The police never found her after that. She disappeared completely. No family, no records, nothing. I moved out of that house 3 days later. But even now, sometimes I wake up around 3:13 in the morning and hear someone humming outside my bedroom door. The same song Nadia used to sing to Lily. I should have left the wedding the moment I saw the bride smashing her own head into the bathroom wall. But everyone kept acting like it was normal. That's the part I still can't understand. Not the screaming, not the blood, not even what happened to the groom. It's the fact that nobody wanted to admit something was seriously wrong with her. This happened last October. My friend Daniel invited me to his wedding out in a rural town about 2 hours from where I lived. We weren't super close anymore, but we grew up together, so I felt obligated to go. The wedding venue was this old countryside hotel, surrounded by dead trees and foggy fields. Beautiful during the day. But at night, the place felt wrong. Too quiet. Too isolated. I remember arriving late in the afternoon and immediately noticing how tense everyone seemed. Nobody was laughing much. Even Daniel looked exhausted. Then I met the bride. Her name was Vanessa, and the first thing she did was stare directly at me for about 5 straight seconds without blinking.
Then she smiled. Not a normal smile. It looked forced, painful, like she was trying to remember how humans do it. I brushed it off at first. People act weird at weddings. Stress, nerves, whatever. But during dinner, things started getting uncomfortable. Vanessa kept randomly standing up in the middle of conversations and walking away without saying anything. At one point, an elderly woman accidentally bumped into her chair. Vanessa slapped her across the face, hard. The entire room went silent, and Vanessa just stood there, breathing heavily like an animal cornered in a trap. Daniel quickly apologized and pulled her away while everyone awkwardly pretended not to notice. That should have been enough for me to leave, but it only got stranger.
About an hour later, I went looking for the bathroom near the back hallway of the hotel. That's when I heard the banging. At first, I thought someone was trying to break a door down. But when I got closer, I realized it was coming from inside the women's bathroom. Then I heard whispering. Fast. Panicked. Like someone arguing with themselves. I slowly pushed the door open and froze. Vanessa was standing in front of the mirror, repeatedly slamming her forehead into the wall beside it. Over and over. Blood was already running down the side of her face, but she didn't seem to feel it. She just kept whispering, "It won't let me do it." Again and again. "It won't let me do it." I remember backing away slowly because something about her expression terrified me. She looked completely disconnected, like she wasn't fully there anymore. Then she suddenly stopped and looked directly at me through the mirror. I swear her eyes looked almost black in that lighting. She smiled again, then said, "You shouldn't stay after the dancing starts." I left the bathroom immediately. My heart was pounding so hard I felt sick. I found Daniel outside near the parking lot, smoking by himself. I told him Vanessa needed serious help. He just stared at the ground and quietly said, "She gets episodes." Episodes. Like that explained anything. I asked him why the wedding was still happening, and he said something I still think about constantly. She's worse when people leave. I didn't know what the hell that meant.
But I should have gotten in my car right then and driven home. Instead, I stayed because I was curious, and because deep down, everyone thinks bad things only happen to other people. Around 10 p.m., the dancing started, and the atmosphere completely changed. Vanessa suddenly became energetic, too energetic. She was dancing violently in the middle of the floor while everyone watched nervously. Not normal dancing, jerking movements, almost twitching, like her body was moving faster than it should. Then she started grabbing random guests, pulling them close, whispering things into their ears. One woman burst into tears afterward and refused to say what Vanessa told her. Another couple left immediately. Then the music suddenly stopped. Vanessa was standing perfectly still in the center of the dance floor, looking toward the hallway leading to the hotel rooms. I'll never forget what she said next. Very softly, "He's here." Nobody moved. Then Vanessa began laughing. Not loud, not hysterical, quiet laughing.
The kind that sounds genuinely insane. Daniel tried grabbing her arm. She turned and slapped him so hard he fell into a table. And that's when the lights went out. Complete darkness. People started screaming immediately. I heard chairs falling over, glass breaking. Then came the sound of running footsteps through the reception hall. Fast, chaotic. And somewhere in the dark, Vanessa was still laughing.
I pulled my phone flashlight out and turned it on. And for maybe 1 second, I saw her standing at the end of the hallway. Completely still. Blood covering the front of her dress. Smiling directly at me. Then she sprinted into the darkness. Not ran. Sprinted. Full speed. Like something chasing prey. The lights came back on maybe 30 seconds later. Vanessa was gone. So was Daniel. People searched the entire hotel for almost an hour. Then, somebody found Daniel outside, behind the building, curled up on the ground, shaking violently. He kept repeating the same sentence over and over. She told him yes. Nobody knew what he meant. Vanessa was never found that night, or ever as far as I know. The wedding was obviously canceled. Police questioned everyone for hours. But here's the part that still bothers me most. When I got home the next morning, there was dried blood on the sleeve of my jacket. Not unusual considering the chaos. Except underneath the blood, written in something sharp, like fingernail scratches. Or 3 words. You stayed too long.